Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Knows in his gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is the Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord, would it be edifying, kind of piggybacking on what Apostle Tahar was going into. He did a video earlier going into that she be dwelled to please with thee, then let him not depart, or let her if she be pleased to dwell with him, let her not depart, or let him not depart, meaning the marriage between a man and woman according to the book of 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, which we will get that. You have this common thing in Israel and just among Jake, period, that adultery is a common benefactor among blacks, Hispanics, and Native American households, man. All right. And niggas commit adultery like it's going out of style, like for real. Jake is like to the point, like it's like waking up in the morning. Jake looks forward to sticking his rod into something that don't belong to him. And to be technically honest, we all are guilty of adultery in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, which the Lord called us. You go to Ezekiel, the 16th chapter, the Lord has a strategic chapter on cursing out Judah and Jerusalem, which represents the southern and northern kingdoms. The Lord was cussing us out because we basically committed whoredom on the Heavenly Father by being in bed in league with these other gods of the other nations, man, which is equivalent to what our women do to us today. So Yahweh Shai said that an adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. Because we're all adulterers, because none of us are technically dealing with virgins. Okay, which the real concept of marriage is when you take the woman's virginity and you present the tokens of her virginity, which is the blood or the hymen being popped on the bed sheets, and you basically take the tokens of our virginity to the Father, which sex consummates the marriage. Bam, that's your wife, and the rest is history, right? But in this society, they teach you, to jump relationship to relationship. So oftentimes, women, and I'm focusing on Keisha, man, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman, Keisha Consuela, and I don't know a name for a Native American chick. I don't know. They all the same, you ask me. But anyway, they focus on women jumping rod to rod, okay? Because they understand through this vote of feminism, it was set up to destroy the patriarchal lineage of the men, okay? To give women jobs and to indoctrinate them with all these wicked philosophies that taints their minds and have them going left 95% of their lifetimes, to the point that the relationship don't work. They have something which is called, I think, mitochondria or something like that. When I believe that goes into basically the man or the woman obtaining the DNA of every man she slept with. So, which leads to bipolar disorder, mental instability, borderline personality disorder. When she's batshit crazy and flipping out, mood swings up and down. Even though women, they have their emotions, but all the different specimens and men sliding in and out of them, that just increases the insult, right? But they teach the women of this nation, of this society, to go out. That don't work if he don't pander to your romance, or he's not romantic enough. He don't cater to your needs. Then leave that man and go sleep with another. Which down the line, by the time you meet her, she's 60 bodies in the game, and you just the next suck in line, right? So, according to Corinthians, man, and specifically women in the truth, that I really want to focus on, because it's kind of bittersweet, because you have sisters in this thing, okay? And I admit you got some nice looking women in Israel. I've seen quite a few women, but I don't make it my business or habit to overly or to really talk to them. It's maybe a couple of them I've had words here and there with, you know what I'm saying, and show or displayed some interest, I say, interest, whatever, conversation, shalom, but it's not an over thing. I don't really talk to a lot of women on the comment boards and stuff like that, because my motto is that if you're an Israelite, 9 times out of 10, you were Israelite because you was dealing with a man that was an Israelite. Okay, it was rare. It's a rare thing that women come into this truth because the spirit is just dealing with them. Not saying that it's not happening or it don't happen, but 9 times out of 10, you women adopted the belief of being an Israelite because, for one thing, you are Israelite. Second of all, is because the men you were dealing with. Okay, like if I was in a relationship 7 years, 8 years, and I'm around that person pretty much every day, eventually they're gonna find out. Eventually, you're gonna try to convert them, right? So to say this, most women in Israel have men that are in the truth. So with that being said, if he's a so-called believer or a believer, and let's just say if you deal with a wicked guy, all right, because you have a lot of wicked niggas in this thing, okay? They get with these Israelite women and, you know what I'm saying, and they would treat her like she's just a typical chick of the world. And in most cases, they are women of the world. Just because you know you're an Israelite don't make you a daughter of Sarah, right? A righteous daughter of Sarah, I'll put it to you that way. Because you got a lot of wicked hoes in this thing that ain't fucking right, all right? And I mean, when you go to these different camps and, you know, we seen it in IUIC, you know, I'm pretty sure there's some in every other camp as well. Mainly IUIC, GOCC. You see those women, them women are all over the place. They're jumping rod to ride. That shit is off as hell, man. So, you know, you brothers out there, if you're courting these women and you didn't bring them into the truth, then 9 times out of 10, she probably belonged to another Israelite guy before you. So you have to be very, very careful when you're going down that route, because the scriptures say that if the believing wife depart from her husband, let her not remarry. Okay, now it's kind of tricky because I'm sure you have some instances that brothers are dealing with women in the truth that have learned they were Israelites, so they may have dealt with other men in the truth. They probably are not together no more, however. Okay, so you may not thought it was a big deal. Like, okay, well, she's single now, I can get with her. I mean, true, but not true. Okay, that's why I said that's very tricky. You know what I'm saying? You got to test the water. Now, if she just came into the truth, whether it be by a brother or an uncle, and she's never dealt with an Israelite man that's a believer, then, you know, she's fair game. But 9 times out of 10, if she knows she's an Israelite, she's learned it from the guy she was dealing with because he was part of one of the camps. Eventually, they breaks up because he was a demon or she was being a demon, and then, you know, she's kind of left straddling around, you know what I'm saying, seeking for a husband, which in her case, that's off because you technically you got to be back with that man, or if he just that wicked, then you just got to be single. Now, there is an exception. The scriptures say you are bound by the law of your husband, but if he dies, then you're free from the law of your husband. But this is not to say go wishing death on the man that you was once with because you want to get with a brother. No. You let Yahweh Shemi Shai take care of that. But there have been women in this thing, okay, and that know the truth. And, you know, they may have tried to brush up on brothers or, you know, try to talk to brothers, which can put brothers in bad situations because realistically it's adultery because you have understanding, you know. So you got to be very careful. You women out there that may have dealt with men in the truth, or even if you ain't got a guy that's in the truth and you understand some semblance of this truth and your man puts you away, you got to remain single. And that's just how the Lord has it set up. You know, if this meant for you to get with a man of the Most High, then let the Lord do his work. Like going back into the story of Nabal and David. I think, what was her name? What was it? Nabal, and I don't want to get her name wrong. I think it was, let me double check. Is it Abigail? I was just meditating on the story the other day, matter of fact. Give me 1 second. Nabal, because he was wicked. Nabal and Abigail, that's what I thought. I thought it was Abigail. Same thing, right? Now, after the Most High killed Nabal, basically Abigail became one of King David's wife. But you see, it wasn't before. The Lord had to take him out so she would be technically free from the law of her husband. Then she can become David's wife. And you have instances like that in the scriptures. Okay? Now you may say, well, what about when Moses said that basically you give a bill of divorce and she become another man's wife? Yahweh Shai said because you harden your heart and you was going to do it any goddamn way because Jake is wicked like that. But for you brothers that didn't really understand that concept, because I get it, you know, it's you look at it, and this is why we're not technically being judged on the premise of the law, because the law is very technical and it's to the point. But in this case, you may say, well, let's just say if it's a typical Keisha in the world and she's an Israelite, but don't know she's an Israelite, but she's still an Israelite, don't the same law apply? The same law apply? It does apply, but she's a believer. She's not a believer anyway. And to be technically honest, we shouldn't really be dealing with any of these women, because technically every woman that we sleep with that's not a virgin, we're technically committing adultery. This is why the Lord is winking at us, right? You know, the Lord's scripture say that the Lord is going to wink at our sins, and basically our sins won't be as scarlet. He's going to be, you know, he's going to wash us of our filth, man. You know? But anyway, let's go here to the book of Corinthians 3, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, they say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and becoming another man's, shall he return to her again? It says, should not that land be greatly polluted? And that's the point. When somebody else dip their seed in your soil, then you don't want that no more. You know, we've been pretty much broken down to the point that we accept used up women because we're on a low level. But us in our glory and in the ancient world, we wouldn't deal with none of these women in America today because they're completely out of order, man. You know, but it says here, shall not that land be greatly polluted? But it says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again unto me, says Yahweh. Now, this is talking about the nation of Israel. Okay, now the Lord accepted us back because that was within the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But in most cases, your woman go and dip out on you and sleep with another man. You probably don't want to deal with that no more. It don't hit the same. You know, like if it was a chick you've been dealing with 8, 9 years, 10 years, and she eventually y'all break up and she moves on. And then she goes and be with another guy and that shit goes left and then she makes her rounds back to you. You're looking at this bitch like the fuck you doing here? I don't want nothing to do with you. You've already then allowed another man to penetrate you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want nothing to do with you, man, at this point. Go and do what you got to do, you know? So to say this, the women have understanding of this thing. You have dealt with other Israelite men before, and that didn't work, whether because he was a demon or whatever it may happen, and y'all break up, then you have to remain single, which can, you know, you may feel that it may be unfortunate for some of you because, you know, you may sincerely desire men of the Most High. But, you know, like I said, if you sincere, or if you women out there that's sincere about that, then eventually the Lord will pair you up with the brother, because ain't none of you women going into the kingdom single, okay? It's just not going to happen. Either the Most High is going to take a lot of you out and you're going to be reborn in the kingdom, or, you know, you're going to be conjoined to a man in the Lord. But either way it go, the Most High is going to do what he got to do, man. All right. So, you know, patience, because, hey, we all have to be tried. You have to be tried as well. For those of you women out there that may be struggling because you're single, you know, the Most High will rectify things in due time. OK, don't try to get brothers caught up in adultery or confused cases as such because you're lusting after a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's not how that works. All right. So me personally, I mean, like I said, there's not very many sisters I didn't engage with in the truth, you know, just the ones I actually know. But, you know, over the course of years, you know, I try to steer away from going in that direction because I kind of figured out, like, most women that's in this thing, they're married to other Israelite men. And if they're single, 9 times out of 10, she knows she's an Israelite because of that dude. So you don't really want to brush up on that like that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to see what it is first. And then again, too, man, I try to stay away from a lot of Israelite women, too, because for the simple fact, a lot of them be demons, man. A lot of them try to teach you shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them try to teach you stuff, man. You know, then you got some sisters that may try to come at you on the slide. You know, they may want to do some things with you, you know, and if she's on point, then, you know, hey, it is what it is. But even then, you got to test that situation, too, to make sure that it's a good go ahead, because you don't want to get caught up in a mixture of confusion there, you know, because you don't know if this nigga, because technically if she leaves or departs from him, technically by law, he has the right to get back with her. Technically, it's still his woman. You know what I'm saying? So even if he is a demon, you know, but in that case, if you women are in that predicament and you sincerely trying to serve Yahweh Shemi Yahushai, what you need to do is pray fast on it, man. Ask the Lord to give you the strength to see this thing through the end, you know. and to make your situation accessible to the men of the Most High. But first and foremost, the wicked nigga you dealt with, or if he's not wicked and you being wicked, then you need to get your spirit in order and make things work out with that man. You know, you need to make things work out with that man, because for the simple fact, hey, if you the demon and he was trying to put you in order and you were bucking up and you trying to get with brothers, that's wicked as all hell. You know what I'm saying? And the brother end up getting with you, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden now he's in danger. Don't do that shit, man. All right. Let's go here. Corinthians 7. This wasn't going to be a long lesson, but I was kind of piggybacking on Apostle Tahar's lesson, because he did kind of go into this. Like it says, the teaching on marriage. Now, let's start at verses 11. It says, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. So this is going into the believers. Okay, now, like I said earlier, you may say, well, what about just a typical woman? I mean, technically the same law applies, but she's not a believer. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you men, you know, we got to get our shit off. You know, men, you know, the affection, the care, the nurturing, you know, we need that from time to time here. You know, because shit, what else we gonna get? That's probably the most relaxing thing you can get in this fucking setup is a damn woman. But even then, that's a rare case, because most women you deal with are headaches, man. All right, but it says, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried, meaning you can't be touched by nobody or having sex. You know, it's none of that. Even conversation, you know, can lead to other things. So, you know, hey, you helping the brothers out, whatever, that's, you know, cool beans. But even then, you want to keep things to the bare minimum. And for you women out there that has dealt with worldly men and you're in this predicament, but you know better, you got to remain single too. Okay, you can't be trying to secretly get brothers to marry you because of that. Okay, that's kind of fucked up when you think about it. But, you know, we understand the desperation of wanting to be covered by a man of the Lord, which you're not wrong for wanting to be covered. But the job goes on you for being vetted properly. And also you have to understand the man you're dealing with too. This is why the scriptures say that the father is supposed to give a daughter to a man of understanding, because the scriptures say that every woman will receive every man, because you don't know how to choose men. So just the rip, you'll get with a guy based on a premise on how he look. Oh, he got long hair, dreadlocks. Oh, he got a big beard. He's light skinned. He got hazel eyes. He raps. And he says, Shalom, sis, I think you cute. And before you know it, he's sliding all inside you, doing what he got to do with you. And this nigga's a whole demon. And now all of a sudden, he treats you like a chick in the world and breaks up with you and leave you alone. Now you're defiled. Well, you're technically defiled, or you're just totally left fucked out of the world, because now you can't do nothing with no other brother. Now it does happen, and I'm not gonna say that it don't, because I'm sure that you have brothers in this thing that are dealing with sisters that dealt with men and know they're Israelites. You know what I'm saying? But it goes a little bit deeper. If he's a believer, he's actually putting in the work. If he's just a wicked nigga, falling out the truth and all this other shit, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is on your spirit. But, you know, it's best to try to stay away from that. But it says, if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. It says, let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away, which means you can deal with the unbelieving woman. All right, you can deal, and most brothers deal with unbelieving women because we kind of know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We already know what it is. Like every woman I dealt with since I was in the truth, which ain't really been that many. I was dealing with one woman, predominantly my second half in the truth. Like I want to say 7 years plus, something like that. You know, still relatively young, but you know, most of that time. And then before I met that chick, I was dealing with this other chick, you know what I'm saying? But they were totally in the world, so I kind of understood what it was. So I was like, okay, these are women in the world. So therefore, you know, it is what it is. So they want to be with you, then be with them. You can't be like the IUIC and say, well, you got 6 months to put on a hair wrap or learn how to tie a headscarf and wear some tzitzits. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta go. And IUIC was doing that wicked shit, bro. Men putting away their wives all because they wanted to fit the IUIC standards, and yet you divorce her, she becomes an adulterer now, man. You cause her to commit adultery. That's why Yahweh Shai say, except for adultery, you shouldn't put away your wife. Now, I get it, these hoes are wicked, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to vet these chicks, bro. You got to know where their mind is at, because a lot of them don't mean you no good. You know, then again, too, in the Apocrypha says, if she don't do as you have her to do, give her a bill of divorce. And the modern day bill of divorce is get your shit and get the fuck out. All right? And it's just as simple as that. And me personally, I have no problem telling no woman that shit. Get your shit and get out. Get out. Get out. I ain't arguing with you. Get your shit and go. Go to your mama's house. Get your, you get your act straight. Don't come back over here. And it's going to be like that. Isaiah 4:1, y'all come with that folly. Hey, ain't no, you getting your shit. You ain't even coming up in here. You going to be fucking checked at the door. All right? Metal detectors, all that shit, man. We putting you through the whole fucking VR screening. You know what I'm saying? We doing a cheek check, everything. Open your, stick your tongue out. What you got back there? We doing that. You ain't coming in here with no bullshit on you, you know. But it says here, and a woman which have a husband that believe it not, and he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy. Okay, but if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High have caused us to peace, man. So basically, I mean, if a nigga want to go, let him go. All right? Let him go, then let him go. All right? Let her go, let her go. But, remain unmarried, until the Lord see fit. So, hey, you ain't in this predicament, then, hey, just pray to the Lord. Shit. You got to get vetted. You got to vet. Period. Like I said, a lot of y'all don't know how to choose, man. You get with these men based on how they look and how they speak. You got some real demons in here, and you got some real demonic-ass women. Okay, you got more demons in Israel on the man and woman tip than not. So keep that in mind. Let me get one more precept and I'll end it. Wasn't going to be a long lesson. Give me 1 second. This is the book of Sirach 23. And let's start at verses 22. And it reads, and it says 22, and it says, and it reads, it says, thus should it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bring it in heir by another. Now, this is a big one. Okay. Keisha is big for this. She will literally go and have a baby on her man. Okay. I've seen it. I've heard it. Hey, you go online. This is all the shit they talk about in the manosphere. Chicks will literally be pregnant with another dude's baby while laying up with you. You know what I'm saying? And then leave you. This shit is wicked. It's evil. But it says here, thus it should go with the wife that leaveth her husband and bring it in heir by another. It says, for first, she have disobeyed the law of the Most High. Secondly, she have trespassed against her own husband. Thirdly, she have played the whore in adultery and bought children by another man. And this is for you women that secretly have babies by other men. And I believe you got a lot of that shit going on in this thing, too. I remember in the IUIC, you had one dude sending D pics to another man's wife. That's wicked, man. All right, that's adultery. That's wicked. And it says here, and she should be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition should be made of her children, and our children should not take root, and our branches should bring forth no fruit, and she shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach should not be blotted out. And they that remain should know that there is nothing better than to fear the Lord, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, so that's the thing. If you are an Israelite woman that believe and you have some type of understanding and you dealt with a man in the truth and y'all ain't dealing, then hey, you got to remain unmarried, man. You know what I'm saying? However the Lord sees fit, either reconcile to that man, or if he's too much of a demon, then remain single. Same thing with you dudes, bro. I mean, you got to put away your wife. You know what I'm saying? If she's a demon, then fuck it. Let her be where she at. If she deals with another man outside of you, then that's adultery. Okay, but as far as you can get another wife, okay, whether she's in the truth or not. That's your right. You can get as many women as you need to get. But overall, man, you want to just keep things balanced. All right, don't be courting a lot of women to yourselves. We don't have the necessary means to do so, But anyway, putting a little balance on it, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Lord's will you edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.